Hello everyone, I'm Kourtney Block, and this is the Rail Report from Gulf Coast and Atlantic. The proposed Union Pacific-Norfolk Southern merger is back on the regulatory track. The Surface Transportation Board removed the proceeding from abeyance on August 18th and established a new schedule to consider the railroad's revised merger application. Caroline Lundon has the story.
The decision restarts the regulatory and environmental review, although the board emphasized that this does not mean the merger itself has been approved. If completed, the deal would combine Union Pacific's western network with Norfolk Southern's eastern system, creating the first coast-to-coast railroad in the United States. And as regulators examine that proposal, Union Pacific is also facing new attention over its fuel surcharges. During the second quarter, Union Pacific collected $91.1 million more in fuel surcharges than the increase in its fuel expenses. The railroad reported that the surcharge difference contributed more than $83 million, or 14 cents per share, to quarterly earnings. For comparison, Norfolk Southern reported a fuel surcharge surplus of about $3.6 million, while CSX reported about $8.4 million. Fuel surcharges have been controversial before. In 2007, the Surface Transportation Board prohibited certain fuel surcharge practices, including surcharges calculated as a percentage of the freight rate, and so-called double dipping, where customers could effectively be charged for the same increase in fuel costs twice. The board also required fuel surcharges to more closely correspond with fuel costs associated with moving the shipment. There has been no finding that Union Pacific's current surcharge program violates those rules. However, the sizable difference between its surcharge revenue and increased fuel expense adds another issue surrounding the railroad as regulators consider its proposed merger with Norfolk Southern. Caroline Lundon, GCA Railroad Report.
The Federal Railroad Administration is putting $5.3 billion into rail projects across the country. Dean Sullivan joins us now in the newsroom with the details.
Kourtney, the package covers 41 projects in 23 states, including major investments in grade crossing safety, infrastructure, and passenger equipment. More than 30 grade crossings are expected to be eliminated, while more than 1,000 others will receive improvements. Amtrak is also receiving more than $2 billion toward 43 new train sets, replacing aging equipment on state-supported routes around the country. Another $140 million will be used to overhaul 41 locomotives currently operating on Amtrak routes in the Midwest and Pacific Northwest. Among the awards is $356 million for Florida, covering improvements at as many as 910 highway rail crossings. In the newsroom, Dean Sullivan, GCA Rail Report.
Thanks, Dean. This week also marked the one-year anniversary of Amtrak's Mardi Gras service. The first year, ridership was more than double the early estimate forecast. We'll be right back with Trackside Topics.
You're watching the GCA Rail Report with Kourtney Block, Caroline Lundon, and Dean Sullivan.
Freight rail traffic continues to show growth. For the week ending August 15th, U.S. railroads handled more than 525,000 carloads and intermodal units, an increase of 2.4% from the same week last year. Carload traffic increased nearly 2%, while intermodal traffic climbed almost 3%. So far in 2026, total U.S. rail traffic is running 3.3% ahead of last year. Metallic ores and metals posted one of the largest increases for the week, while motor vehicles and parts and coal were among the categories showing declines. CN is expanding its hybrid locomotive program, testing 3 rebuilt hybrid yard locomotives with 2 additional conversions planned. The railroad has reported fuel efficiency improvements of as much as 50% during the program. BNSF and NFI are teaming up at the future Barstow International Gateway in California, combining rail, trucking, warehousing, and transload operations at the massive planned logistics complex. And in North Carolina, nearly $300 million in federal funding will support improvements along the Piedmont Passenger Rail Corridor, including additional double track and the elimination of 9 grade crossings. That's a look at some of the stories making news across the railroad industry. I'm Kourtney Block. Thanks for watching the Railroad Report from Gulf Coast and Atlantic.